my free birth home water birth of my second child, and second home water birth. On October 3, 2023, at 41 weeks pregnant, I started to experience prodromal labor, also known as false labor, from the hours of approximately 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. I would experience early labor contractions that made me believe that I had truly gone into labor. These early false labor contractions would start and stop occasionally during the day, and continued on in the night, for 2 nights. The last night before my water broke, it began to feel more like active labor. On October 6, 2023, I woke up to a bloody show. After all of those early false labor contractions, my cervix was now dilating, which brought me much relief to know that all of that prodromal labor was not for nothing. My water broke in bed at approximately 10:25 p.m. with a strong contraction. I immediately hopped into the birth pool. Thanks to the prodromal labor, I had skipped the active labor phase, and only had about 20 minutes of intense contractions that I really needed to pause and breathe through. As soon as I hopped into the birth pool, labor picked up. Contractions became much more intense, and were now 30 to 45 seconds apart. Water broken at 10:25 p.m. Baby born at 11:53 p.m. A fast, easy, and joyful labor and birth.
I'm already having another one.
There is no other organ quite like the uterus. If men had such an organ, they would brag about it. So should we.
So far, a lot easier than the first one. So far, it's a lot easier than the first one.
The human species is no more unsuited to give birth than any other of the 5,000 or so species of mammals on the planet. We are merely the most confused.
If I could guess what they're saying, it'd be that they love you. They can't wait to see you. They can't wait to touch you, nurse with you, and be nurtured by you.
Simply put, when there is no home birth in a society, or when home birth is driven completely underground, essential knowledge of women's capacities in birth is lost to the people of that society, to professional caregivers, as well as to the women of childbearing age themselves. Many of our problems in U.S. maternity care stem from the fact that we leave no room for recognizing when nature is smarter than we are. When you cast out on some bodily function, you don't know how sensitive the body is to that kind of idea. May Gaskin. Nothing in medical literature today communicates the idea that women's bodies are well designed for birth. Ignorance of the capacities of women's bodies can flourish and quickly spread into the popular culture when the medical profession is unable to distinguish between ancient wisdom and superstitious belief.
Where your mind leads, your body follows. You are preparing for the beautiful and normal birth of your baby through connecting your mind to your body and baby and leading them in the direction that you want them to go.
Sorry. Help me now. Okay.
Fear stands in the way of leading your body towards a positive and fear-free birth.
Ice water. There's a bag of ice.
Together, let's tear down that fear as you visualize your positive, empowering, and joy-filled birth. Let's take 3 cleansing breaths together, each one helping you push away the thoughts and events that came before this moment, or that will come after, and pulling you closer to your baby, body, heart, and mind. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out.
We are the only species of mammal that doubts our ability to give birth. It's profitable to scare women about birth. But let's stop it. I tell women, your body is not a lemon. Whenever and however you give birth, your experience will impact your emotions, your mind, your body, and your spirit for the rest of your life. Where the technomedical model of birth reigns, women who give birth vaginally generally labor in bed hooked up to electronic fetal monitors, intravenous tubes, and pressure-eating devices. Eating and drinking in labor are usually not permitted. Labor pain within this model is seen as unacceptable, so analgesia and anesthesia are encouraged. Episiotomies, the surgical cut to enlarge the vaginal opening, are routinely performed, out of a belief that birth over an intact perineum would be impossible, or that, if possible, it might be harmful to mother or baby. Instead of being the central actor of the birth drama, the woman becomes a passive, almost inert object, representing a barrier to the baby's eventual passage to the outside world. Women are treated as a homogeneous group within the medical model, with individual variations receding in importance. May Gaskin. Contrary to myth, for instance, intrinsic physical characteristics only rarely interfere with the capacity to give birth. In other words, your pelvis is probably big enough for vaginal birth. Nearly every woman's is. Mental attitudes and emotions, on the other hand, interfere with the ability to give birth far more than is generally understood. Only rarely do doctors in training have the opportunity to sit continuously with laboring women for hours. Most are taught to intervene in the normal process so often, and so early, that they have never witnessed a normal labor and birth. The problem is that doctors today often assume that something mysterious and unidentified has gone wrong with labor, or that the woman's body is somehow inadequate. What I call the woman's body is a lemon assumption. For a variety of reasons, a lot of women have also come to believe that nature made a serious mistake with their bodies. This belief has become so strong in many that they give in to pharmaceutical or surgical treatments when patients and recognition of the normality and harmlessness of the situation would make for better health for them and their babies, less surgery and technological intervention in birth. Most women need encouragement and companionship more than they need drugs. When avoidance of pain becomes the major emphasis of childbirth care, the paradoxical effect is that more women have to deal with pain after their babies are born. May Gaskin. The technomedical model of maternity care, unlike the midwifery model, is comparatively new on the world scene, having existed for barely 2 centuries. This male-derived framework for care is a product of the Industrial Revolution, as anthropologist Robbie Davis Floyd has described in detail. Underlying the technocratic mode of care of our own time is an assumption that the human body is a machine, and that the female body in particular is a machine full of shortcomings and defects. Pregnancy and labor are seen as illnesses, which, in order not to be harmful to mother or baby, must be treated with drugs and medical equipment. Within the technomedical model of birth, some medical intervention is considered necessary for every birth, and birth is safe only in retrospect.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. No, you stay here. I'm gonna grab a camera. Oh, we did so good. You did so good.
Babies are working to be born from the moment they are conceived.
I can't believe they steal this from somebody.
I know.
A woman in birth is at once her most powerful and vulnerable, but any woman who has birthed unhindered understands that we are stronger than we know.
So nice.
We must trust the wisdom of the female body. In birth, the journey is more important than the destination. Women's bodies have their unique wisdom, and a system of birth refined over 100,000 generations is not so easily overpowered. If a woman doesn't feel safe, it's unlikely she'll be able to birth her baby naturally.
Oh my gosh.
We must abandon fear and trust in the power and intelligence of a woman's body.
Can't believe how easy that was.
Yeah. Look at those ears.
It's like
He has the big ears. Oh,
I can't believe he's already born.
he's so beautiful. Are you the placenta?
Birth is an affirmation of life.
Not a big deal.
I don't think it's a big
Okay. No, it's not. But maybe stay in there until you have the placenta. I'm gonna hurry up and grab a light.
See, that ear's going to go, it was folded over when it came out like this. It was in your canal like this. Oh, what a beautiful baby. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh.
Bobby wants to eat.
Come on, you're a baby. Come on, this
I
one.
can't, it's too deep.
You just love your baby? Both my kids staring at me under the water there. It's like, maybe. Bye. Oh, wow. How are you?
Definitely a boy.
That was his home. And we're done.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to help support the channel.